Phil, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, doing great actually. I can't complain. Baby's doing well. Healthy as I can be, so doing well.
You have had an amazing camp. You always play with your hair on fire. Two things. Do you feel like the weight has translated in the way you've played at camp? And I saw Vaughn talking to you at times at practice. How is his leadership different this year to you? So what do you think camp's gone like with the added weight, and what's Vaughn's leadership? How's it different?
Yeah, I think that camp has been great for a lot of us, especially me. Not having OTAs, it was going to be a hard transition, but I feel like for me, the weight has been great. I've been able to move. I think the off season was great for me, and it's showing right there. And you know how I am. I'm gonna always play with a chip on my shoulder, and I'm gonna give you everything I got. As for Vaughn, Vaughn, like I said, he's been in the league for a while. He wants to win. And, he's just making sure that, he checks on all of us. And, we have a good relationship. Me and Vaughn, honestly, our lockers are right next to each other. Of course, like the 6 feet distance, but we're right next to each other. So we're always talking. And, it's always good to pick his brain. He gets to pick mine and, just get on the right page, And for Vaughn, we want to win games and he's going to be a big key piece. So, it was definitely good to see he get a day off. Hopefully a couple of these other ones get at least a little bit more time off.
Brandon Cristal, go ahead.
Well, Phil, you said you wanted something juicy. Have you played the new Madden yet this year?
No, I did not. I really don't play Madden. I don't play video games, especially after having my kid. I just go home and I spend time with him. Now, my brothers do. Why, they messed my hair up again?
No, your hair looks fine. I don't know if they told you they made you the starter, at least at the start of the year, ahead of Melvin. So are we making a bigger deal about who starts, who has the most touches, all of that? Is it even something that you think about or that is coming up at all?
No, look, the thing is this. It is what it is. I can't control any of that. I told you before, I can't control putting myself in the game. I can't control starting. Like I said, my rookie year, I wasn't even supposed to play the first game. I ended up carrying the ball 17, 18 times. So it's just about going out there and doing my part. And the fact is, like I told you guys before, I don't need 20 carries to get to where I need to go. You give me one carry and it's a great setup for me. It's going to be a big game. And that's how I am. That's how I've always been. I don't need to get warmed up. Get me in the game right now. I'm going to break some. I'm going to be a spark player. When it's time, if I need to be a starter, I'm going to be the starter. It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, I got one mission. It's not going to stop me from, starting or not. I have the same mission at the end of this year. And it is end of this year. So, at the end of the day, no matter who's in the way, they can do well too, but I'm going to make sure I do my part.
Next up, Romy Bean.
Phil, on a different note, everyone kind of keeps talking, this offense is coming together, but the shortened preseason, in terms of the passing game, there's still kind of some kinks to work out. So instead of kind of a competition, I don't know, do you look at it that you and Melvin can kind of carry this team early because they're going to need to rely on the run game early on as they kind of work out all those kinks?
You guys, like I said before, you guys went out there and you guys made a big deal of like the passing game. And what people don't understand, and when you watch football in general, it's about the running game. It's about getting your linemen involved. It opens up the passing game. That's, other than the Chiefs, everybody else that wants to get to the playoffs, it's about running the ball. So you do got to establish that. And the easiest thing to do is establish a run game early to help Drew out. Drew's going to be fine. Our offense is going to be fine. The receivers are going to do great. But like I said, if we can take pressure off him, get them DBs, get them linebackers in the box, then it's going to be so much easier for Drew to do what he has to do. But it also helps our offensive line. Like people don't understand too is sitting there pass blocking all day. That takes a toll on you. It's hard when you got 320-pound men running at you, athletic, and you sitting back trying to protect or going at somebody. And for me, it's like you get them going, get them juices flowing. Then it's easier to pass protect. It's easier to do that. So, but like you said, no matter what, we'll be ready. And like you said, it is. Melvin has to do his part. I have to do my part. No matter what. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm going to make sure I handle my business.
Next up, Zach Stevens.
Phil, without preseason, what's it going to be like in week one, getting hit for the first time for an extended period of time? And does that help the offense?
I mean, I think it affects both sides of the ball. For me, honestly, I don't I'm wild anyways. It doesn't matter. I'm ready to be hit all the time, so I'm gonna be ready. But it affects the offense because if you haven't been hit and you haven't been as physical, it's a shocker. You know what I mean? That's when you have your fumbles, and that's why you're not as focused when you're catching the ball. For a defense, I feel like it's a lot harder because, I mean, you haven't really tackled that much. And now, in this game, and Coach Fandy always stresses, it's about breaking tackles and making tackles. So in this first game, it's going to be whoever can make tackles and break tackles is going to win this game.
Next up, Nick Kosmider.
Yeah, Phillip, just kind of along that Vic Fangio was saying yesterday, it was kind of a tough decision about whether to have these live periods of tackling in practice, and ultimately decided more or less not to do that. Was there any player lobbying about wanting that to be part of it, or it was just you kind of just take it as it comes?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody goes with the flow of it, takes it as it comes. You have to understand that they're paying people a lot of money to go out there and make plays. People have been playing this game since they are 9 years old. So they need to go out there and do what they're supposed to do. They shouldn't need a bunch of practice reps of tackling and stuff like that. That's why you're here. You're supposed to be the best of the best. So my whole thing is this: when that first game comes, just do your part. Be ready. Make people miss and tackle. And I think that we have older, mature defense that understands that, have been through a lot of games, which is going to come in handy. And for offense, you know what I mean, we just going to have to get physical as it goes. And like I said before, that's when you lean on the run game. There's nothing better than when you can knock somebody in the mouth running the ball. So, that's just, my take on it.
Guys, time for a few more. Next up, Eric Goodman.
Hey, Phillip, as a Colorado guy, how much are you enjoying right now being a fan of the Nuggets and the Avalanche and their playoff run?
I'm a big fan of it. Jamal Murray, he's inspiring, and it's just like the stuff he's doing. But that team in general, they're a young team. They're like us in a way. But they all gel, and to see them get down like they did and find a way to get over the obstacle and win, they're going to be a great team for a long time. For the Avs, they're out there kicking butt. I've seen where they were down 0-3 and they came back. So it's crazy, but it comes down to that mentality, and they're showcasing that mentality of not giving up and to stay in it with each other. And I think that we can learn from that. With a lot of things. We can learn that with what the NBA is doing for the Black Lives Matter and what they're doing with each other. And that's they're setting an example. Even the hockey is as well. So, you got to love that.
Last two, Troy, then Brandon. Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, Phil, you've told me how important it is to kind of bring this franchise back to where it was. Can you be inspired by what these Nuggets do? Because it is such a young core, and you have 5-6 guys like you, Chubb, Cortland, Reisner, Drew. Can you see some parallels?
No, for sure. You can see it. Also, let's be real. You don't want to be the only Colorado team not in the playoffs. Like that doesn't feel good to have all your basketball doing well, and then you got the hockey doing well. The Rockies, they got to continue to, they were doing well. Now they got to get back on track. Like, you don't want to be that odd man out. Like, you know what I mean? Like studies, in fact, show that when Colorado does well all around, it's just a better environment. When we was at Colorado and we went to the Pac-12 championship, it was a better environment for everybody. Even the fans, it just was better. You had Denver, the Broncos shut you out at that time, and it just makes things better for people. People are, for some reason, they're happier.
Last one, Brandon.
Yeah, Phillip, Coach talked about he said he seems encouraged, something along those lines, about the season starting and how well everything's gone with the COVID testing and the protocols. Are you surprised, not just here but across the league, that it has gone so well, that the numbers have been so low in terms of players or even anyone in any of these buildings testing positive because they're not in a bubble like basketball and hockey are?
I'm not surprised right now because, one, you have to think about everybody's in camp. So everybody's real focused. We're here from 6 to 8:30, 9 at night. By the time you get home, you're tired. If you have kids, you got to make sure that they're okay and make sure your wife or your girl is okay. So you don't have a lot of time. So I'm not too, I'm not surprised that we're doing well. Biggest thing now is for everybody to hold each other accountable. Hold each other accountable to everything you do. And if you do that, then we'll be able to get through this season and show, we can do this. Now, if everybody starts, camp breaks and, we start traveling and everybody starts to go out because you got a bunch of, you're paying 22, 21-year-old kids and telling them to stay home with all this money and with all this little freedom, and you hope that they're mature enough to say, hey, look, if you're going to do all that, do that after the season. Let's get through this season. And, by after the season, they should have something, figure it out at least, or know more about it. But for me, it's like, I tell the young kids in our locker room, young men in our locker room, hey, like, I have kids at the house. This is what I do. If you go out and you get it and you give it to me, like, you don't give a damn about it. You don't give a damn about my family. And that's and that's where it comes down to is, look to the left and right of you, and I don't want to get nobody sick and they have to miss games or they die. That's the scariest part about this is we don't know, who's immune to who isn't. And I don't want to be the reason someone dies, or I don't want to be that one that dies and leaves my family behind because somebody didn't want to make the right decision. So it's scary, but if everybody sticks with this game plan and in it with each other, we will have an okay season. We'll be able to get through a season.